and are not willing to make instructional challenges because they believe multilingual learners aren't capable? So that's a great question. And I think you're always going to have the naysayers around. You're always going to encounter people that are going to think some kids can't do it. They may think because they don't have the language, they may think they have behavior issues. They may think that's just too much. Shouldn't they just focus on one language at a time? So I think that's always going to be out there. For me as a school leader, what was really important was having a clear vision that kids can do it. And I think even as a colleague, from colleague to colleague, just being really clear on your beliefs, that yes, you do think all kids can do it, and you have to be willing to interrupt those conversations that can take place even in the staff lounge, right? Some people might say, but they just can't do it. They're not capable. And you have to find a way to do that. We're calling them in versus calling them out. Like, I really do believe kids can do this. I've seen kids that can do this. And I think it all comes down to believing that power is in with you, right? And as adults, we're the ones responsible for what we know that really helps multilingual learners, which is high leverage instructional practices, right? Making sure we're using visuals, making sure we're using vocabulary, making sure we're scaffolding. And I think always having high expectations and believing that they can do it will go so far. I always think the kids that are struggling the most, if you learn how to teach them and the strategies that work for them, you got the whole class, because those are the strategies that work for everyone. I also wanted to say, it even happens to me, so it happens to everybody. There's going to be times when we get tired because teaching multilingual learners or teaching learners that have extra needs requires a lot of preparation. It requires to have the best materials. It requires to just do so much advanced planning to make sure they have what they need in their lessons. And sometimes there could be times that we even question ourselves, like, can these kids do it? And just know that that's normal. And you got to go steadfast back to your belief that the kids can do it. And just when I start to question, like, ooh, I don't know, I see kids come right around the corner, and I see the impact that it has when I've put those visuals up. I see the impact when I try to go back to those strategies that I know are the most relevant. The quick turn and talk is one of the most important ones that you can do. We'll spend all this time laminating and doing all these great visuals, and sometimes we forget the easy ones, which is making sure that our kids repeat, making sure that kids can turn and talk before you call on them, so they're automatically getting the words from each other, so things like that. And I think it's the most rewarding job to work with multilingual learners, and I wouldn't want it any other way.